This will be a quick review on enhanced for loops. So we kind of already went over this, but this will just be a quick review. That way you can work on the enhanced for loop worksheet number 1. So as we know, a traditional for loop is set up where we have something like that. So we have declare a variable and initialize it. This is our condition. So while this is true, we will run through it. And this is our increment. Okay. So, if I have an array, something like this, and I want to add up all these numbers, we can do int sum equals 0, and then sum plus equals, and then we'll call the array, and we will have to, in here, put the index of the position that it is in. So actually, let me just change these numbers around so we don't get confused here. I'll make this 11, I'll make this 25, 31, 42, and 50. So when you put in here, 0, this is grabbing the spot, whatever is in spot 0. And so 11 in that case. So we'll just kind of usually do this and then just make sure this works. We'll output sum at the end, and I add up all those numbers. And I run and I get 159, which looks to be right. So that's how a traditional for loop works. But we can do the same thing with an enhanced for loop. So an enhanced for loop, as we come in, the first part of it I like to think of as for every blank in blank. So sometimes it's easier to work backwards. So this is for every blank in the array. So in here you put the array. So what is this array holding? Well, this array is holding integers. So for every integer, and we're just making a copy of it, and we'll give a variable like x. Okay, or num would be probably a better case in this instance. So for every x in the array, what do we want to do? We want to sum plus equals x. Okay. And we can print this out. Let's just make sure this works, and I'll come back through real quick so I can output sum, and we should still get 159. And I run it, and 159 still comes out. So what you see here, what's doing is I'm actually making a copy. So x is, you're making a variable called x, and the first time x is 11. And then the next time x is 25. And the next time x is 31. So x just keeps changing. It's a copy of those numbers. Okay. So I can change this if I wanted a string. And these would have to be words now. I'm not going to do as many. So hello, and I'll put everyone. And if I wanted to here, now I have to change this because my array is not holding integers, it's holding strings. So now x will be hello. And you can actually do everything you want to. So I can still use sum here. And instead, let's do x dot, and I can print out the length. Or not print out the length, but add the length. So if I add this up and I run this now, it should add up every letter that is in hello and everyone. So I should get 13 out. Okay. So that's how an array list, or I'm sorry, an enhanced for loop works. So, and this can be a lot of different things. This can be elements, objects, and things like that. It does work for array lists as well. So if I jump in here real quickly and type list, let's just do integer. Integer list equals new array list. Integer, and open up, and I'll just add in a couple in here. List.add 5, list.add, I'm just going to do 2, 6. I can do the same thing. So now I just got to call this for every, and this is going to be list, and I can still type in int, and I just need an x here. And now if I add these, I should get out 11. You can see it works as well with array lists. So you can do an enhanced for loop with array list or arrays. The one part where it gets a little tricky is when we have a two-dimensional array. Okay, so that kind of takes care of just reviewing how we do it for regular arrays. So if I make a two-dimensional array, now remember, two-dimensional array, a lot of times when we name this here, I'll just do this. We label it like this because two-dimensional array is an array of arrays. So I'm just going to open my bracket and I'm going to put in the first array, like 5, 3, 7, no particular order. So there's the first array. Then a lot of times we'll come down and just give the second array. I'll get my, and we'll call this, 10, 7, and 1. And I'll do 1, no, I'll actually leave it like that. And then I'll close it. This actually should be up here. To close it, it'll look a little nicer if I do that. So you can think of this as your two-dimensional array, but remember, a two-dimensional array is just an array of arrays. So when I come in here and do my enhanced for loop, if I want to do my sum, I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab, remember, for every blank in array. Now, what does an array hold? Well, an array, this two-dimensional array is holding arrays. It's holding two one-dimensional arrays. So I can do here, for every one-dimensional array x, so x will be this one the first time, and then x will be this one the second time. So right now, x is a whole array, so I can't do sum, plus equals x, because you can't add up, it's not going to know what to do. It can't add up the 5, 3, and the 7 all at once, because this is what x is. X is this whole thing. But what I can do is create another for loop, and since x is an array, well, we already just talked about that, I can say for every blank in x, well, x is holding integers, I gotta give these another value, so I'll just say y. Now you could add it up. So think about what happens here. If I run this, it should add up all those numbers, 33, so that looks like it works. So when we first go through, this is x, okay, for this for loop. Then we come in here, and now this is y. So I add 5. Then I come up here for every y in x. Then it's 3. Then it's 7. Then we're done with this for loop. We come back up, and x is now this array. And then y is 10, y is then 7, and y is then 1. So you might want to look at that and watch it again and make sure you understand it. You can ask me questions, message me if you need some more clarification, but kind of remember that. If that's making sense, you should be able to jump into the Enhanced For Loop worksheet number 1 and be able to complete that. Just a little hint of reminder with two-dimensional arrays. This is array 0, this is array 1, and then this would be, those are your rows. So these are your rows, and then these are your columns. So 0 for these two, 1 and 2. So if you ever want to grab a particular one, so if I want to just get rid of this for a second just to make sure we're okay. If I want to grab the number 7, well, number 7 is in the second array, which is technically 1 since this is the 0, and it's in spot 1. So if I run this and print that out, that is how you will get 7. If I wanted 3, this would be 0 and 1. And that will give you, I should have said this 7. This is this 3. I should have changed these up. Go back to this. This will give you the 7 down there that I wanted. And then this will give you the 3. And just like that, this would give you the 8. And make sure you know you would get out of bounds errors. Obviously, if this is a 3, I don't have a spot 3, so there's an out of bounds error there. And this would give you an out of bounds error on the other side because I don't have an array of 3. So just kind of make sure you know that. And if you're good on that, you should be good for the Enhanced For Loop worksheet number 1. Good luck, guys.